Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Evelyn, and today I'm back with another video. I'll be talking about the 4 things that I learned while raising my emergency fund or saving for my emergency fund. And if you are new, please subscribe. To all the new subscribers, thank you very much for subscribing. To the returning subscribers, welcome back. And let's get into the video. Last year I decided to start saving for an emergency fund or contributing towards an emergency fund. This is a goal that I've never really worked towards. I've always had cash savings for the sake of having cash savings, or because you are advised to save cash as a person, but I've never defined a pot of cash as cash for emergencies or to meet an emergency. So I did that, and I think it's been 16 months now. December will be the 16th month and my last month for contributing towards that goal. And yeah, I want to tell you about what I learned through that process, because there were many lessons, but there are 4 that I want to share with you, and hopefully we'll engage in this conversation and learn from one another. Remember that my videos do not constitute as financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I am here to initiate a conversation around finances, because we should be talking about money. Money makes the world go round. It affects every one of us, and so we should talk about it. So the first lesson is that living below your means helps. I was able to allocate an amount that I consider substantial, just to have some sort of openness. I was contributing upwards of 10,000 rand per month. And I don't think I could have achieved that if I had many expenses or an expensive lifestyle. An expensive lifestyle or a very high standard of living. So that helped me a lot. And one other thing that helped me to even be comfortable with that amount was that I actually took some time to cut down on expenses that didn't really serve me or that didn't bring me any value. One other thing that helps with is that your total expenses are low, and so when you multiply them by 6 or 3 months, it doesn't become overwhelming. So you're able to cover your maybe first or 2-3 months very quickly, other than unlike a person who has high expenses. So the second lesson was that having a carefully curated cash structure actually helps, because what you're able to do is continue saving for your cash, for your emergency fund, while you are able to save for other short-term expenses. I have a video that I did about my cash portfolio, and I'll link it below. But just to give you a picture, my cash portfolio is designed in a way that allows me to save for example, my car service and repairs, and also my emergency fund and other sinking funds or short-term savings. Short-term as in like 12 in the next 12 months. And for savings that, for example, the car expenses, these are savings that I know I'm going to incur. So having that type of separation of purpose for your savings actually helps. And it also is very important, because you don't want a situation where you're saving for an emergency fund and all your cash is going towards this one goal. When you meet an expense that you should have known about, it then becomes an emergency. So your life is always going on red alert. So it actually helps to keep you calm about this bigger goal. And so, yeah, that was a big help for me. Lesson number 3 was that I was able to fight my limiting beliefs. In the past, like I said, I used to just save cash, because you have to save cash. But it was never for a defined goal. And there was a time where I actually believed that having too much cash, even if I didn't define what was enough, or enough cash, but I just said to myself, having too much cash in the bank is a waste of time. Just invest your money and have as little cash as possible. But that is not something that is not a good way to live or to manage your finances. The reason for that is that should you be in a sticky situation, you might be forced to sell your assets, and you don't want a situation where you're forced to sell your assets, because then that takes you back by a number of years even. So I fought that belief. I was able to define my goal and to save an amount that I've never ever saved in my life. Maybe for transparency's sake, the amount that I'm working on is upward of 200,000. I have never done that in my life, but here I am today. I'm contributing I'm making the last contribution in a few days' time. So yeah, that was something that I was able to do for myself. And then in terms of circumventing my reluctance, I had to find an account that is aligned with my personality as a saver, or my financial personality, if I could say that. So what I did was to find a money market account or a money market fund. I spoke about it in a video that I did, and I will link it below. It's called how I shopped and why I shopped for a money market account. And so that's where my emergency fund is. The account, just for an overview, is actually a unit trust that follows an index called Steffi. And for me, that made a lot of sense, because I want my money to work a little harder. And I've enjoyed using that account. It's with an asset manager, and I've seen I'm satisfied with how it performed under the conditions that we've been in the past 2 years. So yeah, that kept me on course, because I understood what I was doing. I was satisfied with the returns, and it just made things a little bit more interesting. It didn't make me feel like I was missing out on any. So the fourth and final lesson is that sprinting towards an emergency fund goal is not worth it. I think the advice that I followed was that you need to stop everything. If you do not have an emergency fund, stop everything, stop investing, stop everything and just save towards an emergency fund, and then you'll go back into the market. I don't think that's worth it, because what it means is that you are incurring an opportunity cost where you're not investing, you're not growing your money, and you are just losing out on the time and the compounding effect of being in the stock market. So yeah, that was what I did. I stopped investing, but what I did prioritize was my tax-free savings account. So for the past 2 years, 2 tax years, all I did was to contribute to the tax-free savings account, as well as my retirement annuity. So yeah, I actually lost out on stock market crashes from last year, and it took a little longer for the stock market in South Africa to recover, and we've seen an even better growth of the all share index in South Africa this year. So I lost out on all of that as well. I lost out on increasing my position to benefit from that. So I don't think it's worth it. But you can tell me your thoughts, whether you think it's important to stop everything, or whether you think it's worth it to stop everything and concentrate on the emergency fund, or to work on the emergency fund while you are working on other objectives as well, or investments as well. Another thing that another type of advice in this instance is that you need to, I think financial advisors would tell you to pay off all your debt except your house, or maybe your house and car. But those big ticket items you can still continue with, but you need to pay off all your debt and then work on your emergency fund and then start investing. So I want to know your thoughts around that. Do you think it's worth it to stop and work on one objective, or to work on all your objectives but in a parallel fashion? So yeah, I'd like to know your thoughts, and then where to from here. My plan is to cross my fingers and hope that I don't incur an emergency or any need to use the emergency fund. I've worked too hard. I need to see that money grow on its own, and yeah, just make money babies and make me a proud mama. So yeah, I'm hoping that I won't have an emergency anytime soon. And then I'm going to lower my allocation. Like I said, for me, it was an amount that was just too much, or that was significant. So I'm going to lower it and then go back into investing on the stock market. But what I will continue doing is save cash. But for this time, what I'm adding to my cash portfolio will be a fund for speculative purposes. I've always wanted that fund, and I think this is the best time to have it. What that means is that I will have money. If an opportunity arises, a financial opportunity arises, then I will be able to meet it. If I want to make big changes in my life, I'll also be able to do that. So yeah, that's what I'm adding, a fund for speculative purposes. One other thing is that for that specific fund, because there's no time limit, just like the emergency fund, you don't know when an opportunity will arise. So what I'll be doing is exploring, or maybe researching on types of funds that can allow me to grow this specific amount of money at a higher rate, a rate that is higher than the money market fund, or take a little bit more risk with that money, but not necessarily go into equity. So that is the end of my video today. Thank you for watching, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not. And to the returning and new subscribers, thank you so much for watching, and tell your friends, share this video to your friends, and also in the comments tell me about your own process or your own lessons when you were saving for an emergency fund, so that we can all learn from each other. So I'll see you in my next one, guys. Bye.